My name is Reagan Erdman, and I'm a graduate student at Morningside College, and this is my Education 700 research presentation. A little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Reagan. I'm a Title I or reading interventionist for grades K-4 in Cherokee, Iowa at the Cherokee Elementary School. I'm currently a graduate student at Morningside College, and the title of my paper is The Effects of Technology-Based Reading Apps on Elementary Students' Reading Comprehension, a Systematic Review of Literature. Statement of the problem. The problem is that reading comprehension concerns are becoming more prominent in elementary schools. Students are not gaining enough ground in the area of reading comprehension. The purpose of the literature review is to see if incorporating technology and apps for reading comprehension interventions will help increase reading comprehension in scores. Statement of the problem continued. So why did I choose this topic? This topic hits home to me as I'm a reading interventionist. I'm always looking for ways to better myself. And I focus on not just reading comprehension while teaching, but fluency and accuracy. I am just more interested in the reading comprehension portion of my job. I see many new interventions and apps being formed on different devices, technology devices, and I'm intrigued to see if these would benefit students in the area of reading comprehension. I created a literature matrix to help organize all of my data from the 10 research journals that I used, and I'm going to summarize them quickly below. Number one is called Corey 2020. This was an instructional reading program that embodies reading strategy instruction, conceptual knowledge, and motivation for students. And number two, which was done in 2014, is based on that exact same Corey idea. Number three was strategies that promote comprehension, which was found on the Reading Rockets website. And this focuses on self-questioning, paraphrasing, thinking aloud, visualizing, note-taking, and inference. Number four was done by Cantrell, Almasi, Carter, Rintama, and Madden from 2010. And this focused on questioning, paraphrasing, thinking aloud, visualizing, note-taking, and inference. Number five, done by Graham, Liu, Bartlett, NG, Harris, Aitken, and Talukdar, was done in 2017. And this was a reading comprehension intervention focusing on improving writing. Number six, done by Lervag and Lervag, 2014, was a computer program that encourages students to use their knowledge about text structure through modeling, assessing, practice tasks, and providing feedback. Number seven, done by Gustafson, Falth, Svensson, Juss, and Hyman in 2011, was a computerized program similar to the Lervag and Lervag 2014 one. Number eight was done by Conso, Yang, and Logan of 2019, and that was a reading comprehension intervention that focuses on improving writing vocabulary and comprehension monitoring. Number nine was Kessler of 2018, and that focuses on a broad array of technology. Number 10 was done by Warren in 2016, and that focuses on technology in the classroom. So looking at the problem, research shows us that many children are struggling with reading comprehension, as well as some foundational skills that accompany it. So what interventions will work best? Does technology play a role in assisting in making those gains? Past research shows us that many other researchers are trying to find answers to the same thing. So it's just a topic that's a common interest to many other people. My research question: will research regarding reading comprehension scores show improvement in the area of reading comprehension after the use of technology-based apps have been implemented in the classroom? And my hypothesis is that yes, research regarding reading comprehension scores will show improvement. And the purpose of this study is to answer the research question and find out if the hypothesis is supported or not. There's a gap in the research. The research and literature does not give clear and concise and specific data as to why some interventions worked and some did not. Some of the info is from over 10 years ago, so it's not super relevant to what education standards look like now. My research is needed because the study is needed to show how technology can be incorporated and how that can make learning fun, engaging, relevant, and helpful. And it's ultimately going to show us if it will help with the poor reading comprehension that some students are showing. So why a literature review? It sounds silly, but COVID was starting to hit in the spring of 2020 when I was taking the Education 697 class. So actually, we were all forced to switch to a literature review because we couldn't go into the schools and collect data. And it actually worked out in the best way, as I feel as if a literature review works best for my paper and the way I'm presenting my data. And if you look down here, it looks like some of my sentence cut off, but I will go fix that later. I was just saying that these tools can help me become a better teacher too. We're going to move into the methods portion of the paper now. And like I said, this research design is a literature review. I just thought it would best incorporate all of my data and to look at what past researchers say about the same things I'm wondering when it comes to reading comprehension. The participants were elementary age students, but some studies do discuss students in middle school. The materials are MacBook Air, iPad, course textbooks, online databases, and historical journals. The demographics were teachers at the National Reading Research Center, 7th grade students, a wide range of diverse students, 6th through 9th grade students, second language learners, and 2nd grade students with reading disabilities. When it came to conducting the literature review, it was important to consider a couple areas while navigating that, such as internal validity. So when it came to past research, making sure there was an explicit correlation between the claim and the piece of evidence was kept in mind. External validity, so making sure articles that were chosen had to align with information that would fit into my literature review or include data that aligned with the qualitative and mixed methods data. Reliability, so if the research was not peer-reviewed, it was automatically not considered. And then recency, it was important to include relevant data and research in the review. And relevance, it was important to make sure correct keywords were included in the database search, as I wanted to make sure I was navigating the correct types of research and data. Then when it came to analyzing the data, a literature matrix was created that I think I used so many times throughout my research on this topic. I referenced it, referred to it so much. It was a lifesaver. And it contained the following areas: 3 major themes: codes, demographics, description of teaching intervention used, results of the intervention, strengths of the researcher, weaknesses of the research, and suggestions for future research. So now I'm going to summarize all of the results for you. So the results from the first study said that due to the lack of high quality studies, no conclusions could be drawn as to whether it was effective or not. And for number 2, it said before Corey was implemented, students were scoring a mean of 51.19 on an informational text comprehension assessment, and after the implementation, students were scoring a higher score. When it comes to the Reading Rockets website one, students showed growth and continued to gain in the area of concern. Number 4, student growth was significant and students stood out compared to those who did not receive the intervention. Number 5, the overall measure of writing measures of writing quality and words written improved significantly after receiving a reading comprehension intervention. For number 6, there was no specific data given, it just stated that there was minimal growth. For number 7, minimal gains in the area of reading comprehension. Number 8, they did not have any data provided that was relevant. For number 9, it just stated that teachers must become more comfortable with new, sophisticated resources and take time to understand the great opportunities that will come from them. And number 10, it also just stated that students may become more curious, which leads them to being more engaged with the materials. So looking back at my research question that was stated before, yes, research does tell us that 6 out of 10 of the research articles support the fact that technology-based reading apps and interventions help improve reading comprehension skills and scores. Here is my figure 1, and it is titled The 10 Research Journals Relating to the Research Paper. So on the left-hand side here, I have the 10 research journals that I looked at. They are connecting to the 3 major themes that were discussed, which all in all connect to the title and what the research paper was about. It's a little small and it's a little fuzzy, but it's a bunch of information we've covered already. Then here's my first table, which is called data versus article. So on the bottom, there are those 10 research journals listed, and on the side is the number correlating with how well students achieved and their achievement scores in those articles. The note on the side says the 10 research articles are listed on the bottom while the data is on the side. See the key below to understand the numerical data. So 0 means there was no growth or no specific data. 1, there was minimal growth. 2, some growth. 3, major or significant growth. So just connecting to the past research and theory, each of the 10 research articles that were studied were summarized in the matrix like we talked about, and they come together to support my hypothesis and research paper. Each article focused on a technology-based reading intervention or app, which targeted improving reading comprehension. The study focused on synthesizing the 10 research articles to see if they supported the results and data. And then the researcher, which is myself, discovered that through the hypothesis and research question that 60% of the research articles did find the hypothesis to be correct. Moving on to implications. So students, teachers, and parents are what we're going to focus on here. When it came to students, research proved that using technology-based reading apps were beneficial in the classroom. 60% of those articles suggested that technology improved the reading comprehension scores. When it comes to teachers, research proved that incorporating the technology-based reading interventions in the classroom increased motivation, enhanced academic achievement, and increased the likelihood of students being engaged and focused. And finally, when it comes to parents, the findings impacted them by proving that their children were performing better in the area of reading comprehension at school. This suggests that less work may have to be done at home, parents may worry less, and students may not have to receive interventions at school to beefing up their reading comprehension skills. Limitations and recommendations. There were a couple key limitations. Measurement is the first one. It was difficult to find enough data and information pertaining to the given topic. When the researcher did find some data or articles to use, the data wasn't very clear. When it comes to methods, the researcher noticed that it was limiting to organize all of the data that was collected. After discussing the limitations with the topic chosen and the measurement of data, that led to the methods section, which made it difficult to group and organize all of the data. Recommendations. So if we talk about data collection, just make sure research articles have specific data that aren't necessarily objective. When it comes to choosing a topic, make sure the chosen topic has ample amounts of information that is easily accessible. In organizing and collecting data, do so in a manner that makes sense and pertains to the research question and hypothesis. And on the next couple slides, you're just going to see all of the references that were used just in my research article. Thanks so much for listening to my presentation.